friend, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, a special welcome. This is my YouTube channel, Tidbits and Company, where I love to share inspiration for the keeper of the home. Today I am particularly excited because we have the first bedroom makeover that we've done in this pole barn home that we have built ourselves from the ground up. You see, every space that I've done so far has been a reveal because we've been finishing a new home. But this space needed a makeover because the first time around, I really was not happy with the things that we did. So I'm going to share with you how we changed things and gave this room a new look for my little boy and girl who share this space. I love sharing reveals and makeovers with you, and I love to share with you the design details and kind of give you a glimpse into my design process, and I'm going to do that for you here today. But first, I really think we need to go and look at the before space. And I do have a whole video if you want to see every little detail that we did before in this space. You could definitely check that out. However, I'll just share you a glimpse of what it actually looked like before we started ripping stuff down, quite literally. So we had built this bedroom with an upstairs loft, so to speak. This is actually the biggest kids' bedroom that we have in this house, but we originally thought it'd be really fun to add a second level, so to speak, by adding a loft and then putting their beds underneath. And they both had queen beds. And it really was a cool space. In fact, truthfully, my kids loved it, and they were pretty sad when they heard I wanted to change things and rip that loft down. But here's the thing. I knew every time I looked into this space that it was just so congested and that it could be so much better and it could feel better. The problem was the loft and the beds. There were so many nooks and crannies, so many. And what happens when you give kids too many nooks and crannies? I bet you can guess. They just shove and stuff everything. So this room always felt dirty. It always felt dark and dingy. And it was so hard for them to maintain. And I just knew it could feel so much better for them. And I have to tell you, even though they were sad, I just told them they had to trust me on this one. And they love their room now. So it is so good to just kind of go with your gut feeling and realize if something's off, you can fix it. So anyway, looking at this before space, I hope you can see it was just way too crowded and didn't feel good. So I began the process of kind of redesigning this space in my mind as my husband started to tear the loft down, remove things, and I just had to rethink how we could use this space better and the design inspiration behind it. So I want to share with you this pillow right here. If you can see the colors, this is a needlepoint pillow, and I found it at an antique store. And I just loved it. I was smitten by it, and it felt so much like the personalities of my little boy and girl. They're actually very similar in their interests. They're just outdoorsy. That's why the previous room kind of had this outdoor nature feel. But this pillow showed me how I could bring in more color and just kind of encapsulate their personalities and their preferences in just one pillow. And so I used this pillow as one of my main inspiration points, and it's really helpful to do that when you're going about designing a new room. And because my kiddos were a little sad about losing their loft, I really wanted their input. So we talked about how we wanted this room to feel. And I don't know how it came up, I don't know if it was the pillow or what, but our thoughts led to calling this the picnic room. And I didn't want it to feel like in-your-face picnic, but I wanted it to feel like you were going on a picnic, or just have those same happy, cheerful vibes. And they really got into that. So I'm going to now explain the process, and then I want to share with you kind of the decorative items that we brought in that make it feel like that picnic that we were all kind of desiring. So really, really fun. I'm super excited to design this space. But we had to do a few things in the process to get kind of the walls and the basic parts of the room ready to be decorated. So one of the first things we had to remedy or change was this wall where you see this wallpaper. So this is the first thing that we kind of took down the old and put up the new. Now let's talk about the old one. It was kind of this forest scene, kind of a mural, and we liked it, but it was really actually hard to tell what it was. And so I didn't love it. And when the opportunity came to work with this company called Love versus Design, I jumped on it. They wanted to do a social campaign for my social media accounts. And so I did that with them. So we got this wallpaper as part of that job. And you can see it's this green gingham wallpaper that just has all the picnic vibes we were looking for. If this is the first time you've ever heard of Love versus Design, you definitely need to go check it out. They have tons of patterns, but the best part about it is that you can customize every single color in each pattern. So I played around with like, what if we would want red gingham wallpaper or plaid wallpaper, or do I want some other kind of pattern? And you can go through and change the colors and almost like make and design your own wallpaper. It is so cool, and we had a lot of fun. And then what I highly recommend is to order some of their samples, and they actually send good sized samples, and they're very inexpensive for you to order a bunch of samples, order different patterns, order the same pattern in multiple colors, but then they also send a sheet that has all their colors on them. So if you don't nail your sample color, you can look at that sample sheet and see all the colors in person, because it's always a little different on the screen. So I ordered that sample pack, which I'm so glad I did. I actually was leaning towards doing the yellow gingham wallpaper, but once we just saw it in person, the green just felt more versatile and felt like it could be a little more gender neutral since it's a boy and girl room. So we went with the green that's called Time. That was the color name, and I love it. It's like a green with a little bit of a gray undertone. It's like my favorite green of all time. Now, of course, we had to remove the old wallpaper, and the old wallpaper was the glue kind, you know, where you get wet and then you push onto the walls. And I'll admit, the installation process for that kind of wallpaper is slightly easier, just because you can shift and work out bubbles a little bit easier. However, we had to take that wallpaper down, and taking down a wallpaper with glued back is not easy. And Love versus Design, almost all their styles are the peel and stick. So removing this is going to be way easier if that time ever comes. But removing the old stuff took our steamer and lots of scraping. So I am kind of a peel and stick believer from here on out. I believe Love versus Design just released a glued back kind. But you can find all their papers in peel and stick, and it really wasn't that much harder to install. You just get it up there, smooth out the wrinkles, push it up against the edges, and cut with an X-Acto knife. It really wasn't that hard. There is some prep work you gotta do. I did have to scrub the walls with like an alcohol water solution to just get off any gunk so it would stick really well, and it did. The installation process went really well, and all the instructions for doing that are on the Love versus Design website. So I really love this wallpaper featured wall, but I did have 3 other walls to consider. Now, when we took these little loft beds out, the first time we had put just pine shiplap boards in the alcoves of their bed. And I thought, you know what, I can probably reuse those for this design. So we ended up just taking those same wood pieces, we cut them slightly shorter and put up a little trim piece on top and made them vertical where they were horizontal before. And we didn't have to buy any wood. All the wood we already had used in the previous space. So it was really nice to just be able to do this wood feature wall for free off of wood that we had already bought. I do want to talk to you a little bit later, probably in this video. I'm a little uncertain if I should leave this wood, paint it, or seal it, or stain it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so we put this shiplap vertical planked wood accent wall on the other side opposite of this wallpaper. But that still left two other walls that I needed to figure out what to do with, and above this wood plank wall. Now previously I had used the Pure and Original fresco paint in the color Coffee Cream. It's a lime wash paint. I love lime paints. I love the movement and kind of the suede look it brings to the walls. If you've been with me, you know I've been using Pure and Original in almost every space of our home. So since this Pure and Original fresco paint was already on this wall with the window, and it was on the upper wall where the loft had been, even though we had some wall damage from ripping down the wood, I thought it would just be nice to use that again for the other wall that the wallpaper came off of, and just fix this wall and just paint it again with that same fresco paint. So that's what we did. All the walls, all the remainder of the walls have that Pure and Original paint. And if you want to learn more, please go check out my channel and blog. Just search it. I've got several videos and articles, and I will also link you in the description to that source for you. So that wraps up finishing the walls. First thing we did, then I could start to think about decorating, which of course is my absolute favorite part. To be honest, the DIY part is not my thing. Thank heavens Mr. Tidbits doesn't hate it too bad. So he's good to push up his sleeve and do that and then give me a beautiful space to decorate. And before I get going, I want to make sure you know that I have compiled all the resources for this space in a really simple place for you to look at and click over to find these resources if you see something you like. I have actually discovered this website called Moonsift. Have you heard of it? It's almost like a Pinterest, but for linking out to products, or so you can like curate wish lists. Anyway, I am loving Moonsift because it's so clean and clear. So I am going to compile Moonsift boards for you guys on all these spaces and the things I love in my home. That's going to be kind of a work in progress, but I do have this space all compiled on Moonsift, and you don't have to have a Moonsift account. You can just go over there, look at the boards, and then click over to the products that I use in my home if you're curious where they're from. Anyway, as I share with you the like finished space here, I hope you kind of can see these picnic elements. So we got a green rug that's almost like this grass green, and that is symbolic of just going on a picnic and laying on the grass. I love it so much. This rug is super nice, high quality, I thought, for the price, and they have several other colors in the same style, but very thick. I didn't even need a rug pad. So we love our green grass in this room. And then I definitely felt like we needed to bring in like the picnic basket vibe. So I found these two really large wicker baskets to put at their foot of the bed. So great for storage. And it just brings in that picnic basket vibe that I really felt we needed to fit in with our theme. When I was thinking about the bedding, I envisioned like really plush blue duvet covers to kind of represent fluffy clouds. We sprinkled in yellow, which is my daughter's favorite color, just to represent the sunshine and the joy that can come from being outside. And I've actually kind of embraced this idea of multiple wood tones in this room. That's not always a design concept that's widely taught, but I felt like when I looked out at nature and my window, there were so many wood tones. And so I just brought that in with like some walnut bed frames, and this nightstand with storage that I found at the antique store is kind of that more orange wood. And then of course we got the wood on the walls. So I'm just embracing this idea of different wood tones, and I actually feel like it works pretty good. And of course we feel like the gingham wallpaper is like a giant picnic blanket. So hopefully you're catching on to what we were thinking and how that kind of actually came into reality. Again, it's not like a picnic thing screams at you, but it was kind of a guiding star, if you will, as we put this space together. I want to share with you a little more details about the bedding. The bedding in a bedroom space is my favorite part. I love linens and blankets and pillows. To me, that's the candy to a room. I just have grown up loving linens. So I was really excited when I was searching for bedding to find that Betty's, you know, like that zip up bedding, they were now creating something different, and I really wanted to give it a try. So we've used the zip up Betty's that you might be familiar with in the RV. I have videos on that. And we used the zip up bedding for their queen mattresses that we had in this space, because that was the only way I could fathom making a bed would be doable enough for my kids when they were like in this alcove. Although I have to say, giant pain nonetheless. It was easy for them to make, but for me to wash those sheets and get them back into this little cubby bed, that was truly one of the reasons that I wanted, one of the main reasons I wanted to rethink this space, because it was so difficult. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I don't know that I will ever do bunk beds or loft beds or cubby beds again, because they're so difficult to make. Anyway, I digress. So let's talk about these duvet covers and the duvet inserts. So I've actually worked with Betty's a lot, so I reached out to them again, and they again wanted to run a social campaign with me. So I've done that. You could go see that on my Instagram account, but I wanted to share with you here as well. So their duvet inserts are probably the best quality of duvet inserts I've experienced. They're lightweight, so they don't feel super heavy and hot when you sleep, but they're very, very fluffy. You can tell they're filled with just beautiful high quality down. And so just highly, highly recommend their down inserts. And then they have an amazing selection of duvet covers. And what is so nice, almost all the duvet covers I've had are like button up. But of course, if they're Betty's and they're known for their high quality zip up bedding, it was so nice. They had the ties on all the corners, so I could just tie the down insert in the corners to the duvet cover, and then you just zip it closed. It was so amazing. And it keeps its shape, so maintainable, really, really awesome product. And they have so many fun colors, and I was pleased that they had this like sky blue color, so that I could get that fluffy cloud vibe that I was looking for. So I will link all the Betty's products and the coupon code that they give me to share with you, should you want to go check out the new Betty's products, or if you want some amazing bedding for your kids. As for the rest of the bedding, kept it super simple. I actually picked different colored sheets for each kiddo. Again, my daughter just loves yellow. She's a yellow personality all the way. So I found her some really pretty pale yellow sheets and pillowcases that I feel just like bringing that sunshine to this room. And then my little guy loves blue, and I love how his bed is up against this green wallpaper. I think the blues work really nice with that green. So he's got some darker blue bedding. And then I just layered both beds with this really pretty textured blanket, and then they have their duvet cover. And then for a decorative accent, and also for a blanket that they can cozy up in at any time, I found some really cute, very soft gingham blankets with these fringe. For my daughter, I got her the yellow gingham, and then for my son, we got this green gingham, which I love as well, how it coordinates with the gingham wallpaper. Lots of gingham in here, you guys. I'm just maybe a little obsessed. But it just brings the right feel for this picnic room. So let's take a quick look at the other parts of the room. So I mentioned the nightstand that I found at the antique store has great storage for them to put all their books in. On the top, I found this chicken lamp on Amazon. Loved it so much. The minute I saw it, it just felt right. We love our chickens around here. So anyway, put that on the nightstand and put some flowers on there for this reveal for you. Then let's see, I haven't mentioned the beds. They are these beautiful walnut spindle beds. I looked forever, like on Facebook Marketplace, to find a set of twin beds that would work and give me that kind of antique look that I wanted, and I didn't luck out this time. I have lucked out before for my other kids' rooms, but I could not find thrifted or, you know, Facebook Marketplace finds for this. So I ended up splurging a bit. These are from Pottery Barn. They are, I believe, from the line that the bloggers Chris Loves Julia, if you've heard of them, they I think, collaborated with Pottery Barn to make this line. I love them, and they are such high quality. It makes me think, I mean, maybe this was me just justifying my purchase decision in here, but I feel like these are like those beds that you hold on to for your grandkids, maybe even your great grandkids, and they get passed down. They're just such good quality. In fact, the beds I grew up on, my mom just passed down to grandkids and grandkids. So I really feel like this will be a very long lifetime investment for us, and they're so, so cute. Of course, I talked to you about these pillows, at least the one that I found at the antique store that guided us, and then I found other needlepoint pillows, or pillow for my daughter's bed that's super cute on there. And then the wall across the beds is actually, I had that piece up in the loft previously, so we just bought it down. It's this piece that I found in an antique store that has all these cubbies. It is so useful for a kid's room because I can put baskets in there and they can store all their little trinkets and things, but it looks really nice. So I love that we could fit that in there. I did toy with the idea of selling that and getting like a big dresser, but we don't need that yet. So it'll probably just stay for all their little baskets and things. My daughter has this beautiful collection of Beatrice Potter books she loves to display. They're very special for her. My little guy has a collection of teddy bears that's really special for him. There's this picture of Jesus Christ that my relative sketched up for one of my daughters when she was baptized. And then speaking of that, I love to display their baby blessing outfits and their baptism outfits. So in our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, when a baby's born, we give them a special blessing and they just have a special day. And my mother-in-law sews every grandkid and great-grandkid their baby blessing outfit. So those are really, really special, and I love to display them, and I've hung them just above each of their beds. And then I felt like kind of carrying on that tradition. So when they get baptized at age 8, or when they decide to get baptized, I make them these cute little outfits to go with that special day. So I hung those on this little stick ladder that my husband made years ago, and I think it really fits the space and displays those really special items. And I almost forgot to mention one of my absolute favorite pieces in this room is this art that's behind me here on this gingham wallpaper. It's actually an art piece that I found when we did their room the first time. It just like took my breath away when I saw it at an antique store. And so I went ahead and got it, and it's been so special to us. It's like this cute country scene. It's an original artwork piece. And it just kind of reminds us of maybe like an Amish community. I don't know, it just looks like heaven to me. Just imagining all my children living in homes around me. Anyway, it's just so sweet. So we love that piece. We love to talk about it, share stories, envision, that kind of life. So very, very special piece to us. And I feel like it looks so good against this wallpaper. I just love it. And I think that pretty much sums up all the decorative items in here. I do feel like this space is a little unfinished, but I still wanted to share it with you. This wall above the wood planking is empty, but I didn't want to rush myself. I feel like whatever I put up there, I really want to be thoughtful about and curate. I don't know if I'll put like pictures of my kids or if I'll find different art pieces at antique stores or online. I'm just not totally sure what I'm gonna do up here on this wall. It's a bit of a challenge for me because the ceiling slants. So anyway, that really shouldn't matter that much, but for some reason I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do with that wall. I would love your thoughts. Looking at this wall, do you think I should paint the wood? I was thinking like a darker blue if I did. Should I just stain the wood a different color? Should I just seal it and keep that natural wood look? Anyway, I am kind of stuck here, you guys. So if you have any suggestions, I actually thought, you know what, I'm gonna share this video and get people's thoughts because I'm a little stuck. Should I just leave well enough alone? I don't know. But then if you have any ideas of what you envision on that upper part of this wall, I would love your thoughts as well. And then the upper part that it's above this little cubby shelf thing, I'm kind of envisioning just some open shelving, a couple of open shelves where I can store some of their really cool old toys that we've collected through the years, or maybe some pictures of the kids, more decorative, you don't really play with items. So I gotta get hubby to build me some shelves, but he's so consumed outside with that work that I'm not gonna ask him. But anyway, if you have any opinions or thoughts, or if you can envision something that would go above that cubby shelf, I am all ears. And then the last thing, the last detail I'm looking for is a light fixture. We just have the old ones in there, so I did order one and it's way backed up. So I'll have to show you guys at some point when that comes in, but it's kind of like this wicker flower. So I'm really excited to get that and to put it up, but I didn't have it for all this footage that I grabbed. Anyway, that sums up this room. Thank you for sticking with me. That was a lot of details, but when I make over a space or reveal it, there's just a lot to talk about. So if you want to slow it down, get some resources, get some images to pin on your Pinterest accounts or to save somewhere, please go check out my blog post at tidbitsandcompany.com for this space, where you can find all those details and of course the link to all the sources that I compiled for you. Thanks again. I love sharing rooms with you guys. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you'll join me in my next video next week, where I love to share inspiration for the keeper of the home. Have a lovely day, and thank you for being here with me.